What's up, guys? Josh here again with my trusty sidekick, Andy.
Good evening, everyone.
And today we have my match against the other Andy in our clan, Eternal Hammer. And he is playing a Doomsday list, and I am playing a blue-white Delvery list with some
That is the
Stoneforge.
poorest description I've ever heard. Delphi list.
I don't know what you'd call it. Like, I've got
Call it.
Delvers, Stoneforges, some Lingering Souls, and a bunch of counter spells.
Yeah, I love Doomsday. I think that's one of the coolest decks going, and as I alluded to in a previous match we recorded, it's one of my favorites, and it's an extremely difficult deck to play. You have to know exactly what five cards you're looking for and exactly how you're going to place them back. Most minor mistake will cost you a game.
And he also, yeah, he runs the Lab Maniac for his win condition, and he just unearths it after using a
He also
mental.
has a Storm Guild as a second, does he not?
He
Does he
does,
not have
yeah,
tendrils in
he
that
does
deck?
have a tendrils as well. He's got the Gush Fast Bond engine,
So you
but
look like you're going all in here, or the Jace the Mind Sculptor.
yeah, he's stuck on one land, even though he pondered or preordained twice. So I figured I'd go for it now and try and build up some card advantage with counter spells.
Nice.
And if he has to pass the turn after he doomsdays, Jace can also do some pretty evil things to his pile.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. You're looking pretty solid with two spell pierces in your hand, regardless, because it's going to be hard for him to push through two spell pierces.
And he has only 14 lands, but he's.
Oh, throwing it in pretty quick there.
Yeah, he didn't get one off of two preordains and a brainstorm, so he saw about 10 cards of his deck right there and just never got there.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like you have a whole lot in your sideboard for him. Just an STP.
Yeah, this first game I just brought in an STP. Or this
Good.
first.
Actually, Leyline of the Void is pretty good against him as well.
Yeah, it is. I didn't bring it
Now
in
that I'm
here at
thinking about
first.
it, because once he sends back that, I guess that doesn't negate Unearth. I was going to say that.
Well, he would have to put it in his graveyard, so it would be exiled. So the Lab Maniac. So it's probably a good idea to bring one in. I don't know. I didn't, but that was probably wrong. All right, so I do have some counter magic in this hand and a stone forge to kill him with.
Yeah. Yeah, I suspect Daze is actually pretty good in this match as well.
Yep.
He doesn't have a whole lot of lands. And yeah, it's pretty rare you actually see a Doomsday go off on turn one. It's extremely high risk to do it.
Yep, it looks like he's just setting up his hand with the ponders.
Yeah. Turn two is actually much more feasible. Would be nice to pick up another blue card there for you.
Yeah.
Giving you a little bit more insurance.
I'm in pretty big trouble at this point.
So he cracks the Doomsday. To force it.
I figured I should force it there before he has access to his pile for additional counter magic. But he ends up having the force.
Yep.
So
You are in a boatload of trouble here.
I'm in trouble. I need a Swords to Plowshares. And I need him not to put counter magic in his pile, which I think is pretty unlikely too. So. I'm guessing he'll have maybe a Pact of Negation in there for when he's ready to go off.
Yes. Pact of Negation. He could put a Force of Will in there. He still has 2 cards in his hand.
Yeah.
Probably going to use himself a Gush here. And that's how he's going to draw himself out. Yeah, so for the viewers who don't know how this works, the Doomsday Pile, what he's trying to do is set himself up with a Laboratory Maniac. He mills that card into his graveyard and he uses Unearth to bring it into play. And then he would use something like a Brainstorm or a Gush to draw out the remainder of his library, winning with the Lab Maniac. That's roughly how it works.
So at this point I'm basically dead because I didn't draw anything. So I just have to hope he screwed up and I played out my Stoneforge just to be able to pressure him. Because I can kill him quickly with a Batterskull.
Mm-hmm.
And I got
turn clock.
I got double white because I wanted to scare him with swords. Maybe he'd slow down his play a little bit.
Yep, double sword might be enough to do it. Fortunately for you, that is not the case.
No. And he knows it now.
So, does he use Mental Note?
Yeah.
Is that what he uses?
He does use Mental Note.
Mental Notes himself here, buries the Lab Maniac, unearths it.
So he did have Pact of Negation in his pile.
He's got his Lab Maniac in play, gushes himself, draws 2.
And he wins.
And wins the game. What a way to win. That's just the greatest. Nice, Andy.
So I went a little bit deeper here on sideboarding.
So what does that actually do for you, Josh? The Graph Diggers.
It makes it so he has to cast his Lab Maniac rather than unearthing it into play.
Well, not if he's got Unearth in his hand.
Well, no, because he can't bring it back, I don't think. And he can't put it in his graveyard then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a nice hand.
Yeah, this hand's pretty good.
Can't ask for much better than that, really.
I've even got a way to kill him with Delver.
Yep.
So Delver is down. Fought through a misstep.
Yep. That is going to be good for you.
Does not flip.
Not wrong with having another land there, though. Beg your pardon. Andy mulliganed as well, correct?
I don't know. Well, he did in game 1. I'm not sure if he did in game 3.
So did you ever think about misstepping that?
I considered it, but I needed a card to pitch to Force, and I liked having Flusterstorm and Force of Will.
Fair enough. Just makes you wonder whether he actually had another land or not,
Yeah.
because he did mulligan.
He may not have had another land. His deck is very light on lands.
I think your line of thinking is right, though. It's not a threat, the brainstorm. So if he had missed a turn without a land, and then he'd come back the next turn and brainstormed, I would have very strongly considered countering that.
Yep. And I mean, brains. He doesn't. He's not like shuffling his library right there. So that brainstorm is just digging him 3 deep, and I'm not going to kill him in that many turns, anyways. So he's either going to draw a land in that amount of time or not.
Nice target for Flusterstorm there.
Yeah, I actually let him go for it.
Wow. So you got enough for the unearth. That's probably pretty good, Josh.
Plus, this cuts his life total in half, so I don't know. It might be right to get rid of the Doomsday right there, considering he can stack his pile pretty heavily with counter magic.
I don't. I think typically though, I mean, the most they go for is two. So right. I mean, I don't know what he has in his hand right now. He may have one of the pieces, but so Unearth, Lab Maniac are two necessities.
And he can't really use Unearth.
Mental Note, that's three.
Because he can't put Lab Maniac in his graveyard. Because it will be exiled. So he actually needs another land as well. Because he has to cast the Lab Maniac. He can't just mental note it away. Or he loses.
So, yeah, so that's a good point. See, this is one of the reasons why Doomsday is so complex, because if you don't think this out exactly, good game. He's got his combo here. Can he set it up properly?
And I get a useless card.
That is unfortunate. The Mighty Delver is beaten down. Another 7 to go. So he did go and get himself in. Actually, I don't know if he got himself that land or not. He did have, what, 2 cards in his hand?
Yeah, and he was able to fetch. So he put a land in his pile, definitely. Because he fetched. And that's a good card to get.
Oh, huge.
And I've got him on a 2-turn clock. So I'm actually killing him faster than he's drawing himself out.
He's dead next turn. So he's got to get that thing into his hand right now and have the ability to draw. So he actually could get a gush here. So he's going for it. Unfortunately, he is up against a cavalcade of counter spells here. Did you bury the force?
Yeah, I exiled the force. He goes to gush. I decided to let him do it.
I would have probably.
It's probably right to
Flusterstormed that myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what he would have had in there, but he obviously has a counter. If this resolves, he wins, right?
Yeah. Well, no, because he's at 0 cards. I don't know if sacking the Misty Rainforest, I don't think it counts as a draw, so he actually ends up letting it go through on accident there, but I would have. I talked to him a little bit here, and I would have won with the Flusterstorm, so it's not that big a deal in this case. He went and got himself.
Congrats.
Yeah, he went and got himself a Force of Will. So I don't think he could have.
That wouldn't have been enough, anyways.
Yeah. He told me I would have won with the Flusterstorm, and I don't think he could have actually drawn another card this turn. He doesn't have 2 islands for a gush, so I think I would have killed him anyways.
Yeah. So congratulations, Josh, and good luck to you in your next rounds, and good luck, Andy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, all. Thanks for watching.